Greetings. This is Justin Allen, the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. Sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take the measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to Mike, who is a family nurse practitioner, and his wife, Amy, who helps with marketing. Currently, he works full-time in his practice where he provides IV therapy, weight loss, and testosterone replacement therapy. He states the practice is thriving, but is needing assistance with growing revenue, adding new service lines, and bringing on additional help to streamline the business. Hey, Mike and Amy, how are you guys?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Let's go ahead and jump in this. So tell us about yourself. Mike, we'll start with you. So tell us about yourself, how long you've been a nurse practitioner for, and what sorts of things you've been doing.
Yeah, so I've been a nurse practitioner for about 3 years. Before that, I started my medical journey as a paramedic. I did that for 6 years, registered nurse for 12, worked for private practice as a nurse practitioner doing bariatric surgery, medical weight loss, and then decided actually in the middle of COVID to open our own practice when we were trying to send patients to get infusions post-op. And
saw the opportunity there.
And then Amy, tell us about yourself.
Sure. My name's Amy. I still work full-time in corporate marketing, and I help support our business and their marketing needs.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So husband-wife combination. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, we briefly talked right before we started recording. So tell us about your practice, Mike. Like, when did you start it, and, how's it going?
It's going great. We started in April of 22, so about 2.5 years. We initially started just IV therapy alone, just kind of piggybacking off of when I said we were sending patients for post-op infusions. It was in the middle of COVID, and the only place at the time that accepted these patients that took insurance was busy. So I had to send a patient, otherwise healthy, struggling with nausea, vomiting, dehydration, to a COVID ridden emergency room, which wasn't very efficient, not very safe. So we thought, well, maybe this is our business idea. So one thing led to the next, and took your course, of course, and it was instrumental in us opening our practice. So primarily did IV therapy for the first year and a half. And then with my background being certified in medical weight loss, we decided to add that service line, especially with how semaglutide has been booming. And then just added men's health, testosterone replacement. Again, each of these through your courses, of course. And then that's been going on for about 2 months. It's starting to gain a little bit of traction, not a ton of traction, but there's definitely some prospects that are knocking on the door right now.
Yeah. Okay. And estimate on profit. What are you guys looking at right now?
Profit, it's kind of hard to say because every time we get profit, we reinvest. So
okay.
Monthly revenue, it's anywhere between, on a low month, 25,000, and a high month, we're looking at like 41, 42,000.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good for a couple, only been open a couple years. So yeah, no, I'd like to hear that you are reinvesting the money back in the business. That's gonna how you're how you're gonna grow it. So during that time period of doing that, obviously, yeah, like truly what is your profit, right? You're reinvesting everything, so it doesn't really matter, right?
But
Um, so that's good. So what kind of things are you investing in right now?
mostly marketing. As you kind of hammer in a lot of your courses, it's the bread and butter. It's where you guys spend the most money. So we're doing that. Taking the courses to educate ourselves and office new service lines, and yeah.
That, and then also when we bring on some new service line, we needed to add to our storefront too. So rooms to be able to see our patients and clients in. So making upgrades there and getting the appropriate equipment needed to do so. So most of it has gone into reinvesting in education and then resources to launch those service lines.
Yeah,
Okay.
that and bringing in a little bit of help. When we first opened, I was working 7 days a week for I think the first 14 months, which got a little overwhelming. But then when we started hitting profit margins, it was do we pay me or do we bring in help to kind of offset some of this workload? So we have a couple nurses working for us, so that plays a role with it too.
Okay. Okay. So you guys are needing help growing this revenue. So
Yeah.
break down kind of where the money's coming from. So you guys do IV therapy, weight loss, and testosterone replacement therapy. So, how much of your revenue is coming from each one of those?
So for the most part, it's coming from IV therapy. We're looking, I think this month we're probably hit around 25, maybe 30,000 with it. It's been a good month. A lot of it's seasonal. Our weight management has started to slowly pick up too as we, word of mouth comes and it snowballs. So that's probably around, looking at the numbers, around 15, 16,000. And then the testosterone has been kind of a slow growing thing. We've kind of only been doing organic marketing. So we've kind of looked back to reevaluate how do we get that to grow. But honestly, I kind of took a page out of your book with the membership with testosterone therapy. We have one that has signed up, but he paid an annual fee right up front, so that was kind of cool. And then we have a couple others coming. So I think that's probably around, if we were to average it all out, we're about $400 a month for testosterone. About 2 months in.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, if you guys are doing that well with IV, that's kind of amazing, honestly. Most people don't make that kind of money with IV. So you guys are doing that right. Do you see room for growth there, or is it kind of a ceiling at this point based off of how much time and work has to go into it?
Yeah, I feel like we are hitting a little bit of a ceiling, especially because it seems like everybody is popping up IV therapy places all over the place, and there's these franchises like Drip Bars and Prime IVs that are popping up all over the place. So it kind of waters the pool down a little bit. So I feel like we've a little bit with the IV therapy. Now that being said, our NAD has started to really take off. And I know I had chatted with you via email, I think a year ago, and you told me like the NAD kits are kind of the way to go. And since you mentioned that, we started offering that, and that's I can't even keep NAD on hand. It's almost gone the second we get it. So that's really taken off. So yeah, we're kind of
Well, if if the NAD is taking off like that, is there a particular reason why? Are you just charging a lot less than everybody else?
we're charging a lot less than everybody else, but I mean we're still hitting pretty good profit margins on it. I don't. I mean, there's some places that are charging ridiculous amounts. I don't
Yeah,
really need to do that.
And
yeah. Most of these places price gouge the hell out of NAD. I mean, you could double the cost of a vial for you, which is what, 100, 120 bucks, and charge 250 for it and still make a good profit. Like, so if you're finding that that's growing, I would definitely double down on that for sure. I mean, why not? Always go where, always go where the demand is, always go kind of where you see the trajectory, you know what I mean? Like focusing on those things. So if NAD is taking off, I would definitely maybe make a sole separate page on your website about NAD plus specifically, and really maybe just try to hammer that down some more. Because like I said, always go where the revenue is.
Yeah.
Um, And then, yeah, IV therapy, I'm going to agree with you on that. It's very watered down. It's very labor intensive, and the mixing of the bags and storing the supplies, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's a decent profit, but I feel like you guys could probably start making some more money elsewhere. So I would say with the IV therapy, if you're starting to see a real significant increase in competition, then maybe more or less focus on the injections instead, like NAD or vitamin injections, that kind of a thing, because a lot of patients. Um, a lot of patients don't want to sit there for an IV. They prefer just get an injection and be done with it. So I don't do IVs anymore personally. It's too much of a pain in the ass. So I just give someone a vitamin injection and call it a day.
Okay.
So maybe focusing on that too. But I think where you guys are lacking revenue right now is definitely the weight loss and the hormone replacement therapy, because most of the time, most clinics I talk to, the weight loss and the hormone replacement therapy is their big revenue driver. IV therapy is more or less an add-on. And so you guys are the exact opposite. IV is your big one, and then weight loss and hormone replacement therapy is kind of the accessory. So if it was me, I would really double down on weight loss and hormone replacement therapy. And I think if you guys do that, you should see your revenue grow, double in the next 6 months, easy.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're definitely thinking that with the men's health. Mostly because those are going to be the guys that stick around long term with their weight
Well,
loss. It seems like they kind of come and go. They lose the weight, then they're off. Then you get some that come in, they lose the weight, they're off. So there's a lot of up and down with the weight management. And to be completely transparent, like the only thing that we're offering right now is semaglutide. I could open the door and offer other stuff. I mean, historically, I haven't seen a lot of success with it, so I think that's why we've been hesitant to do it. And the men's health, the testosterone replacement, it's only been 2 months, so I don't know how soon or we should start seeing growth with that. I know, like spending for Google sponsored Google content, it's incredibly expensive. So it's just a matter of like, do we try that? Do we not? And then with the weight management that we have, the semaglutide. I don't know if you've heard these whispers of semaglutide no longer being available. So that's added a little bit of a concern for us. But then, talking to reps at pharmacies, they've told me, well, if we add B12 or carnitine to it, then they can't tell us that we can't compound it anymore. So I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Have you heard that? Is that like a real thing? Like, if there's B12 in it, then they can keep doing it because technically it's not just semaglutide. I don't know.
yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I mean, definitely don't put all your eggs in that basket, because yeah, the GLP-1s are a hot topic right now in terms of, the pharmaceutical companies suing the compounding pharmacies for compounding it, et cetera. But these compounding pharmacies are making a lot of money on this stuff. And
Oh yeah.
so you better believe that they're spending a lot of money with lawyers, battling this. So in my opinion, I say offer it and make the loot, like make the money, like get it done, as much as you possibly can. If they pull it off the market, if they pull it from the compounding pharmacies, then it's going to be, it is what it is. We'll all pivot and we'll have to figure it out. But trust me, the compounding pharmacies are going to figure out ways around it. Okay, so I wouldn't lose sleep over it. It's
Okay.
still very high demand. So I would definitely offer it. I think it's foolish not to.
Right.
Now, your point about people dropping off with weight loss, coming and going and stuff. Yeah, that's true, but you charge more for it. Okay. And if someone sticks around for 3 to 6 months, whatever, I mean, it's still $1,000 in your pocket in profit. So, don't think too much on that. And a lot of people will need it for maintenance. A lot of people will, transition over to like Contrave or Phentermine or something. So I wouldn't limit yourself. Definitely offer the GLP-1, the semaglutide, Phentermine, Contrave. You can do lipo injections or whatever too. So don't limit yourself with that. I would definitely be hammering down on it, because most of the clinics that I've talked to over the last year or two that are, doing $1 million plus a year, their biggest revenue driver is weight loss. Okay.
Okay.
So don't limit yourself with it. Testosterone replacement therapy for men, yeah, it's a good profit and it's easy.
Yeah.
Do you have any competition in your area for it?
Honestly, not really. Not that prescribes a quote unquote off label, like we do. I mean, there's the franchises that are starting to pop up, but I mean, you could do a Google search and organically the two places that pop up number one almost 100% of the time are no longer in business anymore. So I mean, I know there's definitely room to kind of take advantage of that. It's just a
Oh
matter of
yeah.
what do we got to like how do we do that? I don't know the answer to that.
I would probably just create a separate DBA for it. Guys who are looking for testosterone replacement therapy tend to want to look for, an actual men's health clinic, so to speak.
Okay.
Um, so just do like a DBA, your practice's name, men's health and testosterone or whatever. Maybe see if you can create another Google business listing for it. Maybe go to the post office and see if you can add like a suite A to your office, for example, so you can have a separate Google business listing for it. Create a separate website, very simple website's all you need. Um, and then just, let it organically kind of grow. Most guys who want testosterone replacement therapy are looking for it. Okay.
Right.
So if you got your Google business listing, you got lots of reviews and stuff like that, people are going to click on it and they're going to make an appointment. So, thing about testosterone replacement therapy from a marketing standpoint is that you mostly want to focus on the hot leads, not the cold leads. So, Google search ads work real well for it if you can, if you can get legit script certified or if you can get your ad approved.
Right.
Same thing with weight loss too. So, I think what I would do if it was me, I think the IV infusion and the weight loss, I would probably kneel those. Like I, I would make those the same thing. I would basically like rebrand your name to IV therapy and weight loss, and then do a separate DBA for testosterone replacement therapy, men's health. That's kind of how I would restructure it.
Okay.
Yeah. IV therapy and weight loss go well together. Men's health and testosterone replacement therapy, it is a complementary service, but I feel like that if you did it as a separate thing, it probably would do better. So so I would do that.
Okay.
Uh, and so on your Google business listing that you have now, you just get in there and edit it, and just add weight loss to the end of it or whatever, just kind of rebrand it, so to speak. Just get in there and just change it to whatever IV therapy and weight loss clinic and
Okay.
call it and just call it at that. Offer the GLP-1s, offer phentermine, offer Contrave, make a separate page on your website about it, and just leave it there. Make sure that when people land on your website, that weight loss is something that's easily seen.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, marketing these things digitally, again, I think it's difficult to do it and do it effectively, simply because, again, when you send a signal out there on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, um, you're just sending out that message to a bunch of random people who might not be interested in weight loss, for example.
Okay.
So it tends to be kind of a waste of money. And so with that said, really hammer down on how do you obtain the hot leads, right? Like
Right.
how are you easily found? I say that on almost every podcast because it's that important. Like, what do you do so people can find you easily because they're already interested in the service. So
Right.
you want to make sure that you can get those people. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that,
Makes
that's
sense.
what yeah, that's what I'd focus on.
Okay. Cool. Oh, I like that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, yeah. So do that. Um, I honestly do think that if you do hammer down the weight loss and you do hammer down this hormone replacement therapy, that I really think your revenue is probably going to double in 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of just let the IV therapy do its thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
So would you recommend then, what we're investing currently in marketing percentage wise, probably 60 to 70% of it goes towards IV therapy. So would your recommendation be move most of that to weight management and testosterone, or to invest further in marketing? Like
how
as we
much
did,
of your IV patients come from that marketing?
ooh, most of them. I mean, most of our budget is in paid search.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of repeat customers or is it a lot of it just new customers that see the marketing?
We have both because of our location. We get a lot of
Get a lot of new clients.
We get a lot
of
of
towners.
Out of towners. And so, yes, we have a good amount of patients who come see us once and then they don't again, but we have a high volume of those just because of our location.
So with that said, I think you need to run some numbers and you need to figure out how you can quantify how many of your patients are coming from the paid marketing on a regular basis. Because if you start taking away your marketing budget from that, you're going to see a decrease in, what's working, right?
Right.
So you got to be kind of cautious. You could probably scale that back a little bit and not really see much of a difference in your IV therapy revenue. But I would be cautious about it. I would probably drop it 10% one month and just kind of see what happens. So I would slowly start taking away money from the marketing budget for IV therapy and put it elsewhere. I would slowly do it. You never want to break what's working, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you might want to start putting a little bit more money into, reinvesting money back into your business, marketing the weight loss and the testosterone replacement therapy. Just basically bite the bullet and start spending a little bit more money marketing that, but keep the budget the same as the IV therapy, or maybe just scale it back 10%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess with the phentermine contrave, do you see value in adding those as far as profit goes? I know the profit margins go down significantly. So the amount of patients that you'd have to make it worth that. Do you personally, do you see that, or I'm guessing you probably do?
I don't think I'd market it. I would think I would just have it as a service there,
Okay.
On your website or whatever, but I wouldn't market specifically phentermine or market specifically contrave. Just have it as an additional service for the weight loss, because some patients will just want to be on phentermine. Some patients will just want to be on, contrave or something. And think about people being on GLP-1s, once they lose their weight, a lot of times people will get off of it and then they'll regain that weight back. And so what I have found is that sometimes you can carry them over. You can get them off the GLP-1 and add contrave instead, and it tends to kind of help keep that weight off, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper. So by doing that, if someone's on a GLP-1 and they just stop, then you've lost revenue, you've lost that patient, right? If you can keep that patient on a lower dollar service like contrave, for example, you've kept the patient, at least you're still making something. You're making at least, maybe you're making $100 a month profit. It's better than zero.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So you always want to try to keep the lifetime value of that patient lifetime.
Right.
Yeah, you always have to try to keep them in your practice paying you regularly. So that's why I recommend contrave and phentermine as an additional service to kind of bridge people over from GLP-1 to that. You will get some patients who will want to just start contrave or phentermine because their budget's a lot less, but that'd probably be far and few between. All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all elite nurse practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and that other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode.
I like that. Honestly, I haven't even considered that. So yeah, I think that's good advice with that. We are also looking at adding service lines too. So I guess I'd be curious of how, if we kind of rebranded and added a new DBA with a men's health. One thing that we're looking at adding is functional medicine, maybe women's health down the line. But they're all things that I don't know that I can take on because I wear a lot of hats with our business. So um, I guess what would your advice be for that? And like how, with where we're at now, like if we wanted to bring on functional medicine, I can't take that on personally because it's too much. How do we bring in a provider that could take that on for us when we're kind of in that area where I can't bring on a PA or an NP right now. So like how do we make?
Yeah, I think I just hold off on it. Just hold off on it for now.
Oh,
Like, focus on the weight loss and focus on the hormone replacement therapy right now. You're going to make more money doing that than you will functional medicine. Okay.
okay.
Like, I think I would just hold off on that right now. I don't think that that's a bridge worth building right now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So just hold off on that and just let the weight loss and the testosterone replacement therapy, let it just grow. Okay. And let it do its thing. You can add functional medicine a little bit later as you start building your patient base and that sort of a thing. The problem with functional medicine is that um, it's a great revenue source, yes, but it's time intensive. It requires a visit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's why I was like, man, I can't bring this on. We'd have to bring somebody in to do it.
correct. And I don't think it's
Yeah.
really worth your time right now. I don't think that's worth it. I
Okay.
think what you should do right now, since you're the sole provider here, is go ahead and get your weight loss and testosterone replacement therapy patient volume and census maxed out.
Okay.
Okay, get to the point where you're like, okay, enough's enough. I don't need any more patients. When you get to that point, hire another provider to start taking on new patients for the weight loss and the hormone replacement therapy. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And then stand back and look, hey, where are we at with revenue? Are we stalling? Are we getting requests for functional medicine, et cetera? And then at that point, it might be worth exploring that on a very part-time basis. Um, if you hire another nurse practitioner to start doing weight loss and hormone replacement therapy for you, that might open up your schedule to start maybe integrating the functional medicine into your practice and you start doing some more of that. And then once you get all those kinks kind of worked out and figure out the flow and the protocols, et cetera, then you can train the other nurse practitioner, start doing that, or hire another nurse practitioner to do that. But I don't see that being something that you would be doing probably for another year at least.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Do you typically have a or an average time frame that start a service line and then bring when you bring the next one on?
6 to 12 months.
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
we were like 2 months into the men's health, so it's definitely too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you integrate a new service, give it 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Give it 6 months and see what happens. So,
Okay.
yeah, my rule of thumb is we'll try something for 6 months. If it's not doing well, scrap it, move on to the next thing. Call it a day.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't hold on to something just because you like it.
Right.
Don't become emotionally attached to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of my rule of thumb. 3 or 4 months into a new service line, you should start kind of seeing the writing on the wall in terms of, is it going to be successful? Is it not? If it's only been 2 months for men's health and you only have one patient.
Well, maybe two. In a
Okay.
couple of days, I have a consult. I mean, he's at his labs. I've already talked to him on the phone. He's already gung ho about it. So I'm just kind of counting this. We have two, with maybe three or four that have expressed interest that I feel comfortable saying that they're more than likely going to sign up. So,
And when we say 2 months, this is our second month in. We launched the program beginning of October.
I got you. So yeah, still pretty young. Um,
yeah.
yeah, and you're not really doing much from a marketing standpoint. You're not you're not making yourself easily found. So I think once you do that, you should start seeing it pick up.
Okay.
Yeah. Men's health it's a no-brainer. It's easy. I wouldn't scrap it. I mean, just kind of let it do its thing.
Okay.
Yeah. All it takes is getting one cop in there, or, one firefighter, or one guy that works at an office or something, and then he tells all his buddies, and then boom, you get 4 or 5 new patients. So
Okay.
men's health, without spending a significant amount of money marketing it, it's kind of just be patient and just kind of let it grow.
Okay. Yeah, actually, that leads to another question. I mean, so you obviously have experience with this. Is this something that you see word of mouth with the Men's Health? I guess I don't know if I don't view it this way, but I don't know if society views it as a little taboo, testosterone replacement. Is it something that guys typically share with their friends that?
No, 100%.
Okay.
I would estimate at my Men's Health clinic, I don't really market my Men's Health clinic much anymore, to be honest with you. I really don't. Um, I did it first to get the word out, and then I kind of just stopped spending money marketing it because there's really no point at this point. 50% comes from our Google business listing. Simply people just finding
Yeah.
us on Google and giving us a call. Okay. And then I would say maybe 10 or 20% just drive by and see our sign and come in. And then the rest is just word of mouth.
Okay.
So you're saying your street sign lists that you have testosterone replacement therapy?
My sign literally says Men's Health and Testosterone Clinic. Big fucking sign right there on the road. I don't care. Like, whatever. Negative stigma, let those people can kiss my ass. I really don't care.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah. I think that negative stigma is kind of going by the wayside too. I think.
Yeah, I don't think most people care. The only people who care are, stuck up old school doctors that, no one else cares.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So don't worry about it.
Cool.
So your sign on the main road, you definitely need to make sure you remake it. Make sure you add weight loss and hormone replacement therapy or whatever to it.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out because it's mostly tailored to IV therapy because when we opened business, that's what we thought was going to be our bread and butter, and then one thing led to the next, and now it's not. It is, but based on the way things are probably going to trend, it's probably going to not. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Listen, that's how it goes. There are so many people I've talked with. I couldn't tell you how many who start with IV therapy and then they transition over to a bunch of other stuff, and the IV therapy kind of is just kind of there.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I would do. And if you do that, like I said, just be patient about it. You're bringing money in. You're not like, needing revenue so bad to keep the lights on. I mean, you got, the hardest part's done. Like you got a business that's making money.
Right.
The growing part's not necessarily that hard. So the hardest part's done. Now it's just time to, add the other stuff and let it, just let nature take its course, sort of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And given that there's been so many IV therapy businesses that have, and health clinics like ours that have come into the scene, especially this past year, I think, a couple of years ago when we started, it wasn't as common, but now, the market's becoming more saturated and people are offering our services to their businesses, if it's holistic, et cetera. And so I'm curious if from a revenue standpoint, from what we've shared, we're about a little over 2 years into our business. If there's any like benchmarks that can be shared in terms of health of business. I know we're profiting, but I know we want to grow and we're competitive. So we like to grow fast. And so I'm curious from your perspective, I hear you in terms of areas that we can double down and grow quicker. But in terms of health of business, I'm curious what your perspective is there.
Yeah, so you've been open for 2 years, and your revenue this year, I would estimate it's probably going to be what, 400,000, something like that.
Around there.
Yeah.
Around there, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, your first year was what, 150, 200?
Well, our first year it was 57,000 because we were only open like 2 or 3 days a week. And then after that, that's April to December. Then January to December 2023, we did 322,000. And then
But then we open full time.
Yeah,
so
we're
really
open full time. Yeah.
And then 2024 will be 400,000?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, we're on pace for that.
Typically, you will see revenue growth year after year to be 1.5 is usually what you'll see, 1.5x. So
okay.
One year you'll do 100,000, the next year you'll do 150, the next year you'll do, 300, 400,000, the next year it's possible that you could do, 600,000. That's what I've seen with most businesses, that as long as you continue to invest money back into the business, you will see about a 1.5x growth year after year. Okay. So it sounds like you're there. So it sounds like you guys are doing about what's expected.
Okay.
So you're doing it right. Okay. So don't get down on yourself about it. Like what you guys are doing, you're doing it right. When you listen to these other podcasts, these other MPs that I listen to who do, $1 million after their second year, that's rare. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Got it.
I think that with you guys investing money into your business right now and adding on these new services, I would expect 2025 for you guys to probably be a year that you guys should break $500,000, $600,000. So
great.
Yeah, so you're doing it the right way, and if you do that, you should see that 1.5x. So next year should be good.
Yeah, I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my recommendation in terms of hiring additional help to streamline the business. Do you have any employees yet?
We have 2 nurses that work part-time.
Do you have anyone who answers the phone or receptionist or anything?
No, it's one of the 3 of us. And at any given time, there's usually only one of us there. I'm always on call, of course, because I'm the provider. But no, not yet.
Okay, so probably one of the first things that would be beneficial to you is probably just hire someone who's there 4 or 5 days out of the week, who's always at the front desk, the same person who always answers the phone. If someone walks in, it's the same person there. That'd be probably the first person I hire. Okay. That way, you and the RN and whatever can stop answering the phone, and you guys could just see patients and start doing things that are income generating, right?
Okay.
So the first person I'd hire is probably just a medical assistant, pay him $20 an hour, have them answer the phone, have them give injections, etc. Okay. And then after that, my recommendation is if you are booking out 2 weeks, okay. So let's say you start doing weight loss, testosterone replacement therapy, and you are booking. Let's say that you, Mike, you're seeing those patients, and if your schedule is filling up to the point where you're scheduling out 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks for patients, it's time to hire another provider. Okay. People are impulsive and they want to be seen, and so if you have to schedule out someone 3 weeks, they might go somewhere else. So yeah, once you get to that point, it's time to hire a 1099 NP, just contract, have them make their own schedule. Very part-time, 5 to 10 hours a week. It's all that's needed. Okay. Pay them production. So that way it's no risk for you. All right.
Right.
$100 per new patient visit, $50 for follow-ups, or whatever you want to do, whatever works for you. I mean, that's what I pay mine, and it works. And then that way they just build their own schedule. Let's say it's someone who works in the ER or whatever, and they want a little part-time gig to make a few extra $1,000 a month. Okay, cool. You're available on Thursday afternoons. Great. Well, that's when we'll schedule patients on you. Okay. So just allow them to give you their availability, and you schedule patients around their availability. The weight loss and hormone replacement therapy, for the most part, can be all telemedicine.
Okay.
That's how you do it. And then that's minimal risk for you. They don't get paid unless they're seeing patients.
Right. I like that.
Yeah. So it's no risk to you whatsoever.
Cool.
Yeah. Then you start filling up their schedule. They fill up their 10 hours a week. They're still maintaining their full-time job. Hire another one. Rinse and repeat. Keep doing it. Just have a bunch of part-time NPs. If one says, hey, I'm sick of working in the ER, I really want to jump into this full-time. You're like, okay, we can do that. Just be patient. It's going to be a few months before you can really start filling up your schedule. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah.
But if you keep it part-time like that, and you have multiple NPs working for you, you have 2 or 3, they're only working 10 hours a week or whatever, and they're kind of making their own schedule, and you're scheduling patients around their schedule. If one of those people leaves, you're not scrambling. You're not worried about it. Okay, cool, whatever. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely a ways away from that, but
yeah. Keep it in mind, though.
Yeah, for sure.
The receptionist, though, it sounds like you're probably almost there. I would just say probably go ahead and bite the bullet. It's going to be a hit on your profit, yes, but it's an investment back in your business.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And you have to learn how to let go. Let go of the responsibility. Let go of the control. Hire someone that you trust. Hire someone that you jive with. Hire someone that you like. hire someone that you're getting kind of positive energy from, positive vibes from, and then jump into it.
Yeah, that's it's funny you say that, because that will be hard for me, but I definitely agree. And I know Amy agrees. That will be tough, but
Yeah,
it does need to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always tough hiring that first employee. Trust me, because you got to let go.
Yeah.
Okay, it's their job, and as long as you keep an eye on them the first few months, and as long as they're doing okay and they're doing it right, then just let it go. Okay,
Right.
like once you do it once, the second and third are easy. The fourth and fifth, you don't even think about it.
Right.
Yeah, so
Makes
it's
sense.
yeah, it's an investment back in your business, so you can focus on seeing patients and making money.
Cool.
Yeah, so any other questions?
I don't think I do. Do you?
Not right now.
Yeah.
Not
Cool.
right now.
I know.
Next week when we do this again, just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys ever want to do a follow up, you got my email, and you shoot me an email, and I'm more than happy to do a follow up, even if it's a month from now, 3 months from now, whatever. You got my email, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys are doing well. I give you, I applaud you. Don't get down on yourself about any of this. You're doing well. You're doing okay. Like, you got this. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep investing money back into your business, and in the next year or two, you'll actually be able to start seeing the fruits of your labor, and you'll actually start being able to, like, actually start making some real money that goes into your bank account that you can start investing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely look forward to that.
Yeah. It's great. Like, all the hard work pays off at that point. And, if this was easy, everyone would be doing it. And most people give up in the first year. A lot of people give up in the second or third year because they're sick and tired of not making a profit. So just keep going. Just persevere. Okay.
Great. Yeah, I appreciate it. Your courses have been instrumental. I'll say that. We
Awesome.
definitely would not have pulled the trigger on this if it wasn't for Amy and I sat down one summer at a picnic bench in the middle of a park, and we listened to it. And I quit I resigned from my NP job to go do travel nursing because it paid twice as much, and it helped with the upfront costs. And I drove an hour to and from, and I literally listened to your courses every morning and then every night there and back for a year. So it was instrumental.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that, man. I really am. I mean, I tried to make some courses that were straight to the point, that were no fluff, no bullshit, just, get it done sort of thing. So I'm glad to hear that, that it helped you guys out. And at the end of the day, you guys are the ones doing it. You guys are the ones investing money back in the business. You're doing it. So, like I said, I applaud you. You're doing it right. So keep doing it.
Yeah.
Thank
we
you.
Definitely will. Yeah.
So I like to end these episodes with you asking me a question. Do you have a question for me? Something personal, a curiosity, something like that.
Yeah, we do. Amy and I, we kind of formulated this together. So we have little kids. I don't know if you do or not. But we're wondering, both when you started your business at the very beginning, all the way to now, how do you manage, or how do you manage like a work-life balance?
Yeah, it's hard. I did not have I did not have children when I first started. I have a 2-year-old now, probably another one on the way. And would I have been able to do what I've done with children? I'll just be straight up honest. No, there's probably no way. I mean, I started my men's health clinic, my medical cannabis clinic. I had an online hormone replacement therapy clinic. I started the Elite NP. I mean, I really started a lot of businesses that, within a period of a year or two.
Yeah.
And it put a significant strain on my marriage. It put a significant strain on, just my life in general. And so, to be honest, I probably didn't have much of a balance at all, probably for about 2 years there. Okay. I really didn't. It consumed my life. Like, I was just business, entrepreneur, business,
Right.
So I probably did it wrong, by focusing so much on it. So what I recommend now, this is what I do now, is, I give myself boundaries. This is when I work on my business. And then when 5 o'clock hits or whatever, I'm done. You know,
Yeah.
For me personally, right now at this moment in my life, 3 o'clock comes around and I'm done. Like I'm just done. So, I have I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that. So you got to set yourself very, very clear boundaries. And when you're done, you're done. And really try to let go in your mind when you get home, because as a business owner, you tend to go home and the business is still on your mind. You're laying
Yep.
in bed, you're thinking about the business. So in a way, you're never really away from it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yep. I mean, everything you just said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So my advice for your personal health and well-being is when you're done, be done, go home and try to
Awesome.
be more present. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Meditate, do whatever you got to do to just, ground yourself and just try to be more present. And I think that if you do that, not only will your personal well-being improve, but your business will improve too, because you'll awaken more refreshed and you'll be able to put that energy into the business. And then when you're done, you're done. Now you can put your energy into your real life. So set boundaries.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So don't do what I did. I was, I was fucking insane. Don't do what I did. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
You're pretty competitive.
yeah, I'm pretty competitive too. Yeah, exactly. So don't do what I did. I mean, I did what I did and I can live a life now that most people can't. So, was it worth it? Yes, it was, but I do have some regrets, and
Sure.
my life did suffer. It is what it is. I can't change the past. So,
Right. Yeah. Move forward. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. So cool. All right. Well, listen, this was a great episode, guys. I really appreciate it. And again, if you ever want to do a follow-up anytime, you got my email.
Yeah, no, I would love to. And thank you so much for offering this and having us. It was super helpful. So
yes, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
All right. You guys are welcome. You guys take care.
Great. Yeah,
Thank
you too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Justin.
Take care. All right, bye. All right. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode with Mike and Amy. They are doing well. I mean, they've been open for a couple of years and they're going to break, $400,000 this year probably in revenue. So I think that as long as they continue to invest back in their business, they'll continue to see that revenue growth. And so I think that's one of the important things of this episode. You have to continuously invest money back into your business if you want to see it grow. And that's what they're doing. Okay. If you continue to invest money back in your business, 1.5x, okay, 1.5x growth, year after year. You got to keep investing money back into your business, okay? Hiring employees, adding additional services, education, marketing, etc. You have to do that if you want to see your business grow. It's not negotiable, all right? So they're going to keep doing that, and I do suspect 2025 for them, they'll probably break $500,000 or $600,000 as long as they continue to invest back in their business and offer those new services. I hope everyone enjoys this episode. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.